begin with heavy hearts tonight. Our good friend and longtime Local 12 anchor, John Lomax, has passed away.
For 40 years, he was the heart and soul of this television station because he so freely shared his heart and soul with all of us and all of you.
Yeah, we are dedicating much of our time with you tonight in loving tribute to our dear friend, John.
Our colleagues who work with John on Good Morning Cincinnati are, as you would expect, just shocked and heartbroken tonight. A short time ago, I spoke with John's longtime co-anchor, Bob Herzog.
Herzog, I'm so sorry. I loved him too. And I know you worked with him even longer than I did. I had such a short stint on a morning show with him 24 years ago, and it's one of the highlights of my career after all that time, and I know you feel the same way, Bob.
Yeah, sorry.
No.
For as important as the work was, and what a mentor he was to me, he was like, he was kind of like a second dad to me, a lot. And when I lost my dad, I can remember turning to John, about things that I used to turn to my dad for, and questions and things, and so yeah, I saw him a couple, maybe 3 weeks ago. We, group of us from the morning show got together, had lunch. He seemed great. He was happy, spending so much time with the grandkids, and things like that. And I texted him this weekend because Kentucky was playing Tennessee, and I wanted him to know, he's always welcome to show up and hang out with my family, but not to do it in volunteer orange on Saturday. But yeah.
I remember you talking about him when he retired, about how he was so fatherly towards you, and he knew your kids so well. He watched your kids grow up, and he gave you advice, and he was so proud of your kids and his kids.
Yeah, he remembers distinctly when my youngest was born, because I had started on the morning show by that point, and so he literally has seen Emma grow up, and we just always asked me how all the kids were doing. How's Chloe doing? How's Sam doing? How's Danny doing? And they each got little moments here and there to interact with him themselves over the years, and I know they think that's really special. That time they got, and they certainly have heard me tell stories about him enough times that I'm sure they felt like they knew him even more than they did, just by virtue of the stories that I would tell.
Yeah. You get so close to on those morning shows, and I haven't had a chance to say I'm sorry to you, because I haven't seen you tonight, and you work so closely on the morning show, and it's a special bond, and he was a special man.
He was. I'm numb right now.
Yeah.
I just found out in the past half hour, like all of us, and I mean, and I shared the sentiments of Bob there. He was like a father to us on this show, and this is his.
Yeah, the pocket square.
Pocket square. And, he gifted many of these to us.
You got a few.
Bob's got some ties, yeah. And so we're going to have these things to remember him by. But he was a father to everyone. We called him the Godfather here.
For good reason.
At the station, for good reason, because you could go to him for anything, any level of advice you needed, whether it had to do with what we do as a job, whether it had to do with family, with raising kids, with anything, with something going on at your house, something breaking at your house that you need to fix. I mean, whatever it was, he was just such a fatherly figure to many of us here at the station. And Paula, you pointed out too that on mornings, You know, you're in there together early mornings with your coworkers for hours on end because we're on air for so long in the morning, and you better love the people that you're working with in the morning. And thankfully, you know, he loved me or came to me because we had that relationship. And I told Tim Garrity, our news director, this a few minutes ago. I would not be in the position I am here at this television station if it was not for that man and the advice that he gave me over the years. The things that he confided in me, that I confided in him. And we all had such a powerful bond with him. And I'm just numb tonight, guys. I don't have a lot of words.
And I think when I walked in and I heard the news, I felt the same way. Like Paula was saying, it didn't register at first. You were thinking like, wait, what was said?
My brain could not process what I was being told.
Yeah, and I didn't work with him nearly as long as either of you did, but the thing that sticks out to me, we had the opportunity to walk with him in his final opening day parade. And obviously the news was out at that time that he was going to be retiring, and to see the outpouring of love from every single person along the parade route that day was unbelievable. People were yelling out, "Enjoy retirement. Thank you, John. Thank you, John." And he was taking it all in, and he just was enjoying that moment. And people just were so excited to see him. And I remember emceeing an event where he got the Lifetime Achievement Award. He'd been retired for maybe 6 to 8 months by at this point. And he got up there, and I think they gave him maybe like 5 or 7 minutes to speak, and he went on for like 20. And he said, "Don't give a former TV reporter a microphone and put a time limit on it." But he was just telling stories and having such a good time, and everyone was captivated. And I can't not think about Cammie right now.
Me too.
Because she loved Mr. Lomax.
Yeah.
You know.
I think the love everyone had for him, and they spoke about it at his retirement. They spoke about it on the air on his last day. And I think people could feel that it was real. But I can't emphasize enough how he really, this is a family, and he was the head of that family. And it was just, not only personally, but Bob Herzog and I talked about this. It sounds so simple to say he was so smart.
But he was.
So right.
Well, he was a National Merit Scholar.
There you go.
So.
Yeah. Deep
he
levels
was
of
extremely
knowledge
intelligent
on so many topics.
Yeah.
Music. I said to Bob, he could have been a musician, an engineer, and we are thankful he became a journalist.
Yes. And you talk about the opening day when you retired. That was the last hug. And I think you got it on video, Paula, so
I have it.
I hope we can eventually share that, and I'll share it on my Facebook. But that was, I saw them, we're in the middle of the street, and that was my reaction, just to hug him. And that was the last one that I had with him, unfortunately. But boy, I'll cherish those memories.
Our hearts certainly go out to his family. Everyone in the community, and the morning show in the morning will be here to help them through it if they need it. I know they're going to want to talk about him though, and share those memories and how they all got through those early mornings together and storms and he never lost his temper. I don't know if you saw. He was so calm.
Even when he was upset, he was level. He stayed level.
He had opinions. He wanted it right, but level.
I'm telling you, he was the glue that held that morning show together for so many years. Just his steady presence, his advice, his wisdom that he offered, and in many cases, he helped this station through so much over so many years, and his love for all of us here was always felt strongly, and his love for this community, having been here so long, and he was just universally loved by so many. And when you're on television, that doesn't always happen.
I don't think I've ever heard someone say a bad thing about Mr. Lomax.
No.
I mean, you said that doesn't often happen, right? Like
Very few people
just loved him, they embraced him.
And he was like what you saw on TV is what it was in real life.
He led a very simple life. It was about family. If he collected anything, it was those ties that he gave away.
And his love of photography.
Loved photography, he loved cars, but he didn't have a lot of fancy cars, but he loved them.
Yeah, he did. He was a car nut, that's for
Yeah.
sure.
Well, thank you for sharing your memories. The news broke really just in the past hour, so we're just all processing this and hearing from so many of you, sending your thoughts and prayers for John's wife, daughter, son, and grandchildren, and for the Local 12 family as well. Know that that is so appreciated by all of us. And we're going to have more coverage on Local 12 News Live at 11. And of course, tomorrow's edition of Good Morning Cincinnati will be no doubt filled with memories as we celebrate our friends.
John Lomax, great gentleman, for all the greater Cincinnati and northern Kentucky.
Praise the Lord and pass the ammunition of godly principles. Red, yellow, brown, black, and white. We're all precious in Jesus' sight. Down here, Fairhaven, right on the street corner here. Fairhaven Rescue Mission 360. I think it's 360 or 260. 260. Here. Where Randy and I'll be on the 22nd of this month, the 4th Friday, for 30 years. And on the 26th of April, Randy might not be able to make it, so I don't know if I'll be able to come down by myself physically or not. Have to wait and see. Maybe the Robinsons can come down with me or somebody else. Have to check that out and see. Friday fish fry at Frisch's. Looks pretty good. I had to try that out myself. Are you ready? And you gotta know Jesus. Are you ready for Jesus? He's knocking on everybody's door. But you gotta reach down and turn that knob and invite him into your heart.
But it's who you know. family, you can feel at home here. There's a lot of love that goes beyond these years. There's nothing like the fellowship of those who love the Lord. So welcome to the family. There's always room for more. The tablecloths are red and white. The tea is sweet and cold.
Oh, Daryl! I'll drop something off. Okay. Well, my first drive out since being in the hospital downtown. The beauty of downtown Covington. Justice Center.